honestly. I said that I'm not the right man for the job anymore, but that I never said I will never work again. And a few months after that, the opportunity came up. Oliver and Mark Kosicke, they spoke about this, and I was on pretty much caught fire pretty quickly, because I'm so interested in sports, in football, all these kind of things, that I want to be part of it. And now, step by step, day by day, I realize more that not only I am really excited about the opportunity, but actually I think I can be quite helpful as well, which is probably from the outside world. They say he will be, or everybody at Red Bull thinks they will be, but it was important for me to learn in the last week I really probably will be a benefit. And that's exactly what I want to be. I don't want to be, I don't know, a passenger or just what is it, how I call it in English, but a prominent person in the room and stuff like that. I really want to put some value on it, and that's exactly what I saw. Now I can do that. That's good.
Juergen, I know from so many football-loving colleagues how curious they are about your new role at Red Bull as head of global soccer. Before we talk about that, how it happened and how it came that you are sitting here, please let me clarify. Is it Red Bull soccer or is it Red Bull football for you?
No, for me it's Red Bull football, of course, but we have exactly. But I love the game too much. And for me, if you understand it as soccer in the USA or wherever, fine, no problem with that. For me, it's football, and you can call it it's the same game for me. So I have no problem with either way.
Okay, Oliver, when did this idea, Juergen and Red Bull, come up the first time?
Yeah, just to add, because I just spoke to Alexander Severin, the UEFA president, and. Due to the fact that we have a team in New York, the New York Red Bulls, and in the US you call it soccer because of the football. And I spoke to Severin and he said, we're talking about Juergen's role and everything. And I said, yeah, well, soccer. And he said, stop this. If you talk to me, we're Europe, we say football. So, I mean, if Juergen goes to the US, then let's see, because they call it soccer, but at least it is the same game.
Okay, for the next 30 minutes we will call it football, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, gentlemen. Oliver, again the question, this idea, Juergen and Red Bull, when did it come up the first time?
Well, in my mind, it came up a long time ago, and I approached Juergen and his agent Mark, but I could feel that there's interest about Red Bull. So Juergen was always open about what we're doing with Red Bull, not only on the soccer side as well, on the other sports engagements. But so I could feel passion, but I couldn't feel the commitment. Yes, at some point, if I'm done in Liverpool, I'm going to join you. So, but we had a couple meetings and we met from time to time. And yes, I was always trying, of course, to present, our approach of football, and that it would be great to have somebody like Juergen, being responsible for the whole sport. And then at some point I had the feeling maybe I can convince him. And then the other day he extended his contract in Liverpool. So this was, quite disappointing, from my and our perspective. But yeah, then finally I wouldn't say convinced, but finally when he decided, to step down from the Liverpool head coach position, and after a couple months, we followed our conversation, and I could feel the doors open, and then we found pretty quickly an agreement.
Okay, Juergen, let me stick to that a little bit. How did Oliver, he said not convincing, but how did he convince you to consider the job?
It was not a big problem. First and foremost, he had more meetings, had a meeting with Mark, because they know each other for a long, long time. And I heard things, stuff like that, but it was not that I had any plans in this direction. I was, as long as I was a manager, I was a manager 100,000%, did nothing else, left and right, really wanted to be the best version of myself in that role. But after that, again, when you are in the job I did for 23, 24, 5 years, it's super intense. Other jobs are intense as well. But the only thing is I'm a very, very curious person. And that I could not feed anymore, because it was really game after game after game after game. And you keep a specific level. And I was not extremely happy with that, to be honest. I always wanted to try to learn new stuff. And I felt immediately when I heard about the role that it's exactly what I will do. And I learned already in 1 week so many things about Red Bull, about the philosophy, about so many other things. And we only started. I was not even overseas. I was not in Japan, not in Brazil, not in the USA. I will go there in the near future, and then we will suck that in as well. We'll feel it. What do they need, and all these kind of things. So in that role, I want to share all my experience. I don't need it for myself anymore. It's now really there to improve the game at some point, at some places in the world, and to improve the whole football, because we come to that probably a bit later. But the global team is not in this every day, match day, preparing, analyzing thing involved. So we have to create super things, super valuable things for football around, and that the football teams can really get the benefit out of that. And for that, you have to be open-minded. And I can't wait to learn all these kind of things.
Yeah. You both said it was an easy one, Oliver. So no negotiation skills you have to pull up to convince Juergen?
I mean, well, look, it was not easy because, as Juergen said, he was listening, but he was, fully focusing on being the coach in Liverpool. So, yeah, finally it wasn't easy. Well, it was not kind of a negotiation. It was more that, when Juergen was open to talk, that that we really both felt, yeah, this is the right fit. And not only the fit for Red Bull, it's the right fit in terms of what we're doing. And when Juergen said in the beginning, like after 8 days, he could feel, yes, I bring value. So we were speaking yesterday on the phone, and he said, well, I have the feeling now, coming back as well from Leipzig, that yeah, I can bring value. I mean, this was clear for me, but of course it is a totally new rule for Juergen. But I mean, this was absolutely missing. When we were looking at our soccer engagements, to have somebody with that experience and with that knowledge and with that positive energy.
Oliver, thank you. That leads me kind of to my next question, Juergen. You could do anything you want probably at almost every club or national team on the planet. Why Red Bull?
Because a different role. That's a different role. I was fascinated by the brand anyway. I don't know how many different sports wouldn't exist if Red Bull would not be engaged. We all know them. Jumping out of a helicopter, whatever, from whichever height, wherever an airplane is flying under a bridge, it's probably a Red Bull plane and stuff like this. So how each sports person, and we all love these kind of things. And I always said, I love what I do. But in the moment when I realized I'm not the right man for it anymore, it always was meant about a specific club. It was at Mainz like this, it was at Dortmund like this, it was Liverpool like that. I will tell you. And I'm brutally honest with myself in this moment, and they're told pretty much immediately, that's it for me, and I'm out of that. And that means that was not only energy and stuff like this. I did it often enough. More than 1,000 games on the sideline. That's only the competitive games, friendly games, preseason games not involved. So I did it all. Had massive, plenty, thousands of press conferences. And I didn't want to do that anymore. And I know not each person in the world can decide, I stop working. But I never wanted to stop working. I just wanted to get a new start. And this is the opportunity. And again, it's really about finding synergies between different sports and bringing it together, learn from each other, all these kind of things. And nobody does it. There's nobody in my age group with the position I had maybe in world football or in club football who did something like that in the past. Some were much older and tried then and did a bit on a lower level. Let's see if we where we can go and stuff like that. I'm here. All the things in my life I did, I want to do really good. And that's how I want to do this. We will see if it works out. I have a good feeling. I have really a fantastic team around with Mario Gomez and the global team. We met so many people. Everybody is burning for this company. It cannot be bad how the people, how friendly, how open they are and stuff like this in different departments. We're in Elspeten, Fuschel, Munich, of course. We're now in Paris, Leipzig, Salzburg, anyway, and these kind of things. So many people work really hard for that. And if I can help in a specific way, I'm absolutely happy to do so.
Yeah. What are you looking forward in your new role, Juergen, and how will you define it?
We will see. So as I share experience, add value, really important. How that exactly looks, we will see. So you cannot, football is not like that. There's not one plan which works for every team, for all the teams. And we have completely different teams in different countries, different cultures, and in different situations in their countries. So second division team in Japan, first league team, yes, in Brazil. We have Leipzig and New York, obviously, and then other engagements for other teams where it's in much more an advisory role, and it will anyway be an advisory role because all the clubs have their own CEO, their own structure, their own sporting director and stuff like this. And I was never in my life the guy who just went out and told the people how to do things. I really think leading comes from listening, and first and foremost, I have to listen to figure out what they need. How I said, I'm an open book. Whatever they ask, they get an answer as far as I can answer it. And if I cannot answer it immediately, I will find a way to get the information and answer it next time. And it feels really good. It's really easy to identify with the Red Bull Cosmos because people are buzzing. They know that they're really they have a great a great thing in their hand and in sports and these kind of things. If you speak to the guys who are responsible for all the events, you think, oh my God, it's a dream job. You organize all these events all over the world and for young people. And I know it's not a commercial thing here, but if I would have thought about what I want to do. I really want to share my experience. I want to support people. I want to help them to get the best version of themselves because I was so lucky and had always this kind of, I had luck in the right moments, support in the right moments. And probably the right saying would have been, I would like to give wings to people. And then I come to the mother of that phrase. It's really cool. I've met plenty of sports people, partners already, will meet much more. So it's in the stage where I am in my life, it's the perfect moment to do exactly that.
But talking about development, what ideas, or let me put it that way, what wishes do you have here?
It would be great if that would be a wish list, and then we're going to check the box, as Juergen said. I mean, of course you want to win. You know, if you do, professional sport, you want to win. In a couple months, I was kind of complaining, that in Leipzig a couple % are missing, and everybody was wondering, like, why is he criticizing the team? So, and I was wondering because if I do professional sport, I have one goal: I want to win. So, and even if I fail, I get up the next morning and I want to win. And we all know that winning is much nicer than losing, right? So, yes, at the end, we do all this professional sport to win. To win the Formula One, to win on the road to the Tour de France at one time, and to win the German Championship, and maybe sometimes you're going to win more. So, but to win, you need to work hard, and my expectation is, of course, bringing much more expertise, and not meaning that Juergen is a couple years older. It's more, as I said, the expertise which he was collecting over the whole years, and this has been missing. This has been missing in somebody who is not on the touchline every day and really focusing on the next game, who has some time and a different perspective and a different view on things, and yes, and can give advices which and I hope this too, that people see, oh yeah, this is a great perspective, and this is something where I need to rethink and where I might need to change some little things to become more competitive and to become more better. So learning and listen and again using, of course, the whole capacity of Juergen. This is my objective.
Thank you, Juergen. Do you feel pressure?
No, I never felt it, even though I knew it's there. I know it already. I was in a stadium now at Leipzig, and obviously, if Leipzig would have lost, they would have said, Klopp loses the first time. So that's the world we are living in. We deliver easy headlines, and that will probably happen still for a while. That's a bit of a thing. I never got 1000% used to it. I went for the first whistle in the stadium 3 minutes before we got, and so we could do it with the lowest or the least fuss. No, usually when I come, cameras turn and I think, oh God, what's that? But I try to ignore it. I try to do the right things in the right moment. And I really try to deliver value. But I don't want to disturb if the VIPs coming again and everything. Everybody like this, security is running around. Where is he? Where's the car? That's, it's not me, but it's the world around me. And obviously sometimes we have to do it like that. I hope it all calms down a little bit and we can just do the work, and then let's see where it leads us to.
So Oliver smiling a little bit before. Should he feel pressure, Oliver?
Well, I guess he felt enough pressure in his life, and you know what? Pressure for me, you know, is something positive. So pressure is not negative. So as I said, you know, we do professional sport. We want to win, and of course there is pressure, but you know. The perception is always a bit negative. I turn it around. It's yeah, there is pressure for all of us every single day because, you know, we want to give our best. We want to, you know, deliver. And it is a really competitive world in all the different areas, but of course as well in professional sport and in football. So yes, we have pressure, but I think we like to have pressure. Otherwise, you know, Juergen would have been coach for so many years. And yeah, so let's take that pressure.
Yeah. No, maybe I was not 100% clear or lost a bit of the path on my answer. Yes, I always had pressure. I just didn't feel it. It's like because I want to win anyway. So who can put pressure on me? I know we all do that. All the things Red Bull is doing is just to get excitement that, to the people, stuff like this, to that they can enjoy different things. But of course, in this team sport. Yeah, whatever we can squeeze out, we have to. And that's exactly what we try, 100%. But it will not add extra pressure on me because the people expect it from me. So I know my expectation of myself, they're that high that there can be no extra pressure on it.
And definitely.
Well, sorry to interrupt, but Juergen met, you know, our shareholder, Kunst Lerm, and he brought, you know, a big picture with Juergen, you know, having the Champions League trophy. So I could feel that there was kind of a little bit pressure on all of us, especially when he brought up the question, so when you're going to deliver this one in Leipzig. So
was that a sign, Juergen?
Yeah. Ich habe keine Ahnung.
Juergen, let's stick with that. You have won almost everything. You won the German championship, the Premier League. You won the Champions League. What would be a triumph for you in your new job?
Again, nothing. I don't want to say that because it's clear anyway. Again, it just creates headlines. It just creates impatience. All these kind of things. We want to be the best we can be. That's how it is, 100% in each department, in each club. But it's so different. So in Germany, everybody talks about Leipzig, but in Japan, hopefully. Some people will talk about Omia there, and then in Brazil, hopefully they will talk about Bragantino again in a better way than we did last year. But it's all different starting points. Where are we? Where can we go? To develop all of them, to make the next step with all of them would be a dream. To just because it would mean we did the right things, and football gives you the opportunity to do things as well a little bit different. So in having somebody like me in that chair now. And I cannot swap. I was a coach until 7 months ago, so I will deal with coaches and I will work with coaches in a different way than all other whatever heads of which department would do, because I was in the same chair. I know the needs. I know how much support they not only need but deserve as well, because they're the most important people in the club. Because if it works out with them, you think, oh, great coach, blah, 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 fantastic. If it doesn't work out, people think, should we change, blah, 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 and all these kind of things. And I really hope that I can, again, add some value there, that our coaches in the future, they talk about Red Bull, if you go there, you are there at least for 8-9 years, because they really support you, they develop you, they help you, and all these kind of things. We have great coaches right now, and from my point of view, I just hope we work with them together for the next 10 years. And in that time, we made steps together, because we dealt with different situations in a way nobody else in football deals. We will see if that works out, but I think it's worth giving it a try.
Juergen, your move to Red Bull created both excitement and criticism. Really, again today, how nice or how difficult or how even exhausting is it sometimes to be Juergen Klopp?
Yeah, the last 7 months were all right. To be honest, it was pretty nice to be Juergen Klopp because we found our corner where we could hide. Let me say it like that. Now I'm out again, and it's obviously we all need to get used to that. I hope it calms down. But Red Bull never had somebody like me. Like, yes, they're very famous sports people, but then it's all clear. But I'm an employee actually, and these kind of people don't work usually here, and so it's really funny in a lot of moments. I'm 57, and I would say I got used to it. Let me say 80% of the time it's all right, and 20% it's a bit special. But it's my life, and I'm happy to be here. I am happy about all the things, how it happened. A couple of things could be slightly different, but overall, I'm absolutely fine with the way, and I pay the price. Sometimes I like it more, and sometimes I don't like it so much, but I try to behave in the bad moments as well.
Juergen, once you said it's not important what people think when you arrive, it's much more important what they say when you leave. Looking into the future, what should people think if you ever leave Red Bull, maybe let's say in 30 years, 40?
Yeah, that was a fantastic time. It was worth it. That we made the right things. That we did the right things, the right moment. That we made the right changes and the right improvements and all this. That we enjoyed the ride. That people are waiting for it. That they're really buzzing. I know that. And let's try. And that's how it is. What we will not do, and that's how it's here. In the moment I realize I am not that. It doesn't work out. I will tell. It's not because I again never in my life I want to do a passenger. But until this point, we will give it a proper go. So we will not waste any time, and we will really try to do the best possible for all the people. Well, I don't know, this is in a difficult time in the world. You go to Elsbeth and you see the people working there, how they like it, and the next thing you hear is, here we build another building, we employ 1,300 people in the next 2-3 years. In all the different moments, you think, oh my God, that's great. So let's do that. So it's like, it still is this really positive, in the right direction, and being part of it, I feel already responsible for my part. And yeah, I hope I can help. That's it.
You mentioned it already. In the world of Red Bull, there is a lot of sports, a lot of athletes, a lot of events. Is there, Juergen, anything you are particularly interested in?
To watch? No. I want to watch if possible, everything. That's probably the biggest challenge between all the working days. I need to find moments where I can visit a couple of events, what would be really cool. No, I will do that. I have time for that. So playing still, I love paddle the most, that's clear. Never saw Formula One race. That's true as well. On television, of course, but I was not there. Never saw a skiing race. So a lot of things not in my life. So I'm a sports maniac. So I have, my bucket list is full of sport events I never watched. And now I can have probably a shortcut to the event. That would be really nice.
Talking about that, how can football possibly benefit from other sports of Red Bull?
I tried to answer before. So like, it is interesting. Most of our sports look for us pretty dangerous. They're well prepared. They're everything. The preparation takes months. And then you have a 15-second clip on YouTube, and we all think, oh my God. So how serious they take, how all they do it. And to prepare 100% in the moment they have to deliver, they deliver. So, and that's actually something we really can learn from. But in general, I don't know what we can learn. But I think the history of football is a little bit, we didn't want to listen. That's not now anymore, but it was like 20 years ago. Wait, we know it. We do always the same. We did it always the same. But there are thousands of things we probably can learn. And we will, if there's something, we will be the ones who find it out. And anyway, then it's for everybody. So then it's for everybody. So then we cannot, if you use it, next day everybody knows it, fine. Then it's a benefit for everybody. But we try to really be there innovative. And I think we have to be innovative, to be honest. We have to use the power. That's because there's one thing, you are responsible for a lot of different clubs. But at the same time, you have the power of this different knowledge which you have to throw together and make somehow the best of it. And that's actually what I'm going for and what I'm interested in. Help young people to develop, help young sports people to develop, and yeah. That's it, pretty much, in different ways. And in this moment in time, I don't know what we can learn, but there's a lot. And and when I know it, I tell you.
I give Okay, and as I already mentioned before, dear colleagues, we are starting now our question round with Juergen Klopp. Remember, before your questions, please state your name, your medium, and your country. And I should suggest, let's start it. So, the first question, please. Everything is answered, huh? The gentleman in the first row, please. Please, Christian Falk.
Jürgen, du hast ja schon gesagt, du wünschst deinen Trainern alle, dass sie noch 10 Jahre lang...
Zwei Dinge. English or German?
English.
Vorstellen und Englisch.
Kollege hat es ja schon gesagt, Christian Falk, Bild.
Ah, das habe ich nicht gehört. Da war ich noch in der Antwort.
Okay.
And he missed the country as well.
Ah, Mr. Country. Ah, okay.
So in English now?
Yeah.
Jürgen, you already said you wish your coaches that they will be in the clubs the next 10 years. But you know how football works. Perhaps there is a situation that one of the teams need a coach. Oliver Mintzlaff is calling you and saying,
No.
Jürgen, we need you. Can you say that you, the next 5 years, never be a coach again?
I will not be the coach of a Red Bull team. That's a clear commitment. In how I sit here, and as much as you can assume, I would give a guarantee I will not be the coach, not a coach at all. But I'm probably the only person in this room who will get asked, where are you in 5 years, where in 4 years, where in 3 years? Nobody here in this room has a clue. And I don't have a clue, but the plan is completely different. And I will not be the replacement of one of the Red Bull coaches. I hope we can create a structure where these kind of questions will not come up at all. That would be cool.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Next question.
Hallo, Tom Bachmann, Deutsche Presseagentur. You said it's a tricky thing that there are so many clubs with different starting points from where they're standing now. So I was wondering, will there be like a focus on one club first, or will you treat them all equally, which is pretty hard to do, I guess?
Yeah, but you don't do that. For example, it's now right now as a transfer windows here in Europe. It's slightly different in Brazil. It's slightly different in Japan. In USA, that's all different. So it's not that much a problem in this moment. And the other moments, again, we think that in this moment in time, in all the clubs are the best possible people to do the right thing. What they did so far, they did well. New York nearly became champion. Leipzig is doing what they're doing, being on 4th position, potential for a slight improvement, but doing well. Japan, we got promoted just recently, and whereas in Brazil we stayed in the league. So that's a different starting points. Yes, and there's not the folks, but actually in this one we trust them all. What they do is the right thing, but when we can add value, we will do that. It's not going there and being now the overwhelming stuff like that. We try to be helpful, and you only can do that if you give the right advice in the right moment, and not coming and giving you advice without any need and just I would do it like that, stuff like this. Yeah, you have no. They could probably tell me you have no clue about Brazilian football, and I would say you're right. I don't. I have had Brazilian players, but I never watched a game in Brazil. But I will watch 2 games in 2 weeks, in the next 2 weeks or something like that. We'll see my first game in Japan, and hopefully at some point my first game in American MLS as well. So I have my experience, but I don't want to stop here. I want to gain. I want to gain knowledge, experience, stuff like that. But I think what I know about is helpful in the specific moments, but I need to find the specific moments. There's no proper medicine for each club. No antibiotics helps always, not at all. It's really, you have to be specific. We need to learn about the culture. I need to learn about the culture, not only in the clubs, but in the countries as well. How you deal with that, how can we create there more talent in the specific, and that's always, I know it's seen as talent just for a bull, but in the end it's talent for football in general, and I'm really interested in that, and so yeah, that's I have a lot of ideas, but I think the ideas are only as good as they are needed in that moment.
Next question, please. The gentleman with the blue hat.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Hello, Juergen. Guido Schäfer von der Leipziger Volkszeitung. Das ist Eastern Germany. Juergen, can you please describe your special relationship with Marco Rose in Leipzig and also Sandro Schwarz in New York? Are they good coaches? Are they good enough to win titles?
Yes, they are, but there's nothing to do with our relationship. So about the two of them, for the few people who don't know that, were my players at Mainz. We got promoted together to the first Bundesliga for the first time in the history of Mainz. So we, all three of us, would consider ourselves as friends because we were there at that time. So nothing happened in between. So we are still. And now I told both of them, and that night after we got promoted, that I'm 100% sure they will become coaches. Not sure they remember it because they were pretty drunk in that moment, but I remember it, and it happened. And now they're very successful coaches and managers, and so yeah, I think usually you create a relationship with a manager with time. In this case, that's already there, but that's it. I think that gives us a better starting point, definitely, because we know each other already. It's much more difficult for a manager, for another coach who doesn't know me, to be completely open and tell me and ask me and stuff like this. So that's a better starting point, and I'm really looking forward to work with them.
Thank you. Next question, the gentleman with the brown shirt.
Ibrahim Abdelgawad from On Time Sports, Egypt. Greetings from Egypt, as you have a huge fan base in Egypt, and we would like to have you and to see you in the near future there. Actually, I have a lot of questions, but my question will be from 4 parts. Number 1, how do you see the possible move for Marmoush to Manchester City? Number 2, what do you think about the future of Mohamed Salah with Liverpool? Number 3, is there any opportunities to develop the Egyptian talents with Red Bull Egypt?
Maybe we keep that 3 first.
Take the mic away, please. He will not stop.
Sorry?
He will not stop.
Yeah.
What was the first question? I know Marmoush to Manchester City. I don't know. Didn't think about it. Great player, fantastic player, great club. Maybe not. I don't know. Mo Salah, what was about Mo?
What do you think about his future with Liverpool? About his contract renewal?
I hope he stays. He's the biggest striker LFC had in the modern times. Obviously, there were other good strikers, really good strikers, but fantastic player, fantastic human being, outstanding athlete, best ambassador your country could have. Fantastic, really, in pretty much all departments. So I hope he will stay at Liverpool. Question number 3.
Is there any opportunity to develop the Egyptian talents?
We don't make any difference. Where's the talent we want to develop? So if it's in Egypt, we go to Egypt. No problem at all. It's like that. But the world is a big place. We have to start here and then. But you obviously have some really good players right now, and that's good for you. Really good for you.
And we will give other colleagues before the chance to ask questions.
So you're welcome.
Thank you. Gentleman over there with the blue shirt, yes?
I told him.
Hello, my name is Filip Maklic, Nezavisne novine, Bosnia and Herzegovina. So throughout your career, you had a chance to work with players coming from Balkan countries. So Neven Subotic, Miloš Jović. Also, the Red Bull family is known working with. For example,
Perisic.
Strahinja Pavlović. And my question is, what do you think, or what would you say are the key qualities that define players coming from Balkans?
One of my first players I played together with him, and then he became my left back, was Vjekoslav Skriniar. Yeah, I had Ivan Perisic. I had plenty of players from there, all great, had great characters, super athletes, super professional, smart. Usually, I always admired players in general in each sports from the Balkan countries, because it's not the biggest countries population-wise, but always incredible sports people. And so, what was the question?
So what do you think are the key qualities from the players coming from these countries?
Yeah, fantastic background. So I like it, and I had a super experience with that. But I'm now not that much. I don't know who is in our youth teams from that area or whatever. So I don't mind. Let me say like that. Wherever they are from, the football language is similar. You're good. Nobody cares where you're coming from. So that's pretty much how I kept it always. So there's no special treatment needed for for the people from your countries.
Thank you.
Next question, please. The gentleman behind the camera.
The last. Mini had usually always the first question. I like that today he gets either no or the last. So it's fine. Yeah.
Hello, Przemysław Chlewicki from TVP Sport from Poland. You said that developing of young players will be important to you in your new role. I know that you worked with Robert Lewandowski when he was very young. He was 21, 22 years old. At what point in your coaching career did you realize that Lewandowski would be the top 3 players in the world? Is the first question. And is it easy to build in the player as Lewandowski is to you?
Sorry, the second part of the question I didn't understand. The first one, when did I realize that Lewandowski will be one of the best players in the world? The second part was?
Is it easy to build the player as Lewandowski?
That's why I didn't understand it. Yeah. I don't know when I realized it. What I saw is that the story around Robert Lewandowski is a funny one, because I watched him very often, and then we didn't sign him in the first year because I thought he's not ready for it, and nobody else signed him, which was a surprise. And a year later we went there again, and then we signed him, and we were really lucky, if you want. And he came in and he needed time, and I had discussions with Polish colleagues. They told me he plays on the wrong position because we played him in a 4-2-3-1 and a 10. Don't want to go too specific. The fact is, what I want to say, young players you have to educate. There's a potential, and then you have to educate it. That's what we all try, all coaches in the world try, and we did that. And they said he plays the wrong position. He's a 9. I said, yeah, he's a 9, but he needs to play more, get more involved in the game, because he's just finishing off, stuff like that. So, yeah, before he left that, it was clear. It was clear that it will go in that direction. I think easy. If he stays at Dortmund, Dortmund would have won more league titles. I think that's, yeah. Yeah, probably. So it was clear then, and no, it's not easy. It's not easy to find them. It's not easy to train. It's not easy, because the problem is it's around about 80-90%. It's the player who decides, and we only are allowed a little bit here and a little bit there, and can try to help a little bit. But it's about the talent, the potential, the character. He has all of it, and that was the decisive thing.
Gentleman over there.
Hello, Mr. Klopp. Božidar Bulac, 24 ur. You were in Leipzig on Sunday and you saw a fantastic goal of Benjamin Šeško. What are your plans with him?
My plans with him, that he scores more goals like he scored on Sunday. That was a really good one. Yeah. I was pretty impressed. Played a good game. He's a good player anyway. I know him for a while. I know him already when he was at Salzburg. I mean, I think we played a friendly game here. I was very, very young, and I was already pretty impressed and thought, where do they get always these players? Ridiculous. So, Yeah. It's not I have no plans with him, just to make that clear, that don't get it wrong. I will not show up in training and tell them what to do. Our plan, and I don't have to ask Marco Rose, what's your plan with him? I know it. He wants to help him to score as many goals as somehow possible. I think when he has from outside view, he is, because of his age, not only, but it's because he has space for improvement, space for development. He would probably say the same, but his incredible skill set and incredible potential. So happy that we have him.
Thank you.
Next question behind Mark Gabel.
Mark Gabel, RTL Fernsehen. Herr Klopp, you're coach of very traditional clubs like Dortmund and for sure Liverpool FC. And of course there's, I would say some kind of romantic view of football. That a coach like you never leave a club like Liverpool FC, for example. And of course, there were quite a few fans who were a little bit disappointed that you now left to a very big company, global player with lots of money in the background. How do you describe these kind of fans? Your transformation of work now that you have to do now in the next future.
I think if you want to understand, you can understand. If you don't want to understand, you will not. So that's how it is, and I tried to explain it before. I was at Leipzig in the stadium, and I'm pretty sure I will feel the same in Bragantino, when I'm in Japan, wherever I am, in New York, that the people there really enjoy being part of an interesting, super exciting journey. So, and I think the people there deserve it. It's easy as that. Who decides what people can get? And if there would be not Leipzig, tell me in the whole region which kind of football team you would support. Would they all go to Magdeburg and watch in the second division? I don't know. So it's fine. What everybody's doing is really fine. But this, I really think this region deserves this kind of thing. So that's one thing. After 9 years in England, on top of that, you cannot be the same person than when you left these kind of things. I had investors in England. We cannot change that, but nobody thought about that properly during a season, during the games. The games were super emotional. The fan base is super respected. They have the same discussions like we have here without ownership models about ticket price and stuff like this. This is the normal football world in England. So, but nobody thinks about that, and that's why I cannot come back and just keeps the same view than everybody else who never saw the other kind of football. But I respect and accept all opinions. But in my mind, the people in our clubs deserve the best possible, and that's what we try to deliver.
Thank you. Next question, please. Maybe on that table. Yes.
Lukas Zara, Der Standard, Austria. You've been quite critical about the amount of games in world football. Do you have an idea?
I still am.
Sorry. Do you have an idea how to tackle this problem? And on another note, what every Austrian journalist wants to know: how much time will you spend in Austria? Will you have an office in Salzburg now?
No. Number two, I can answer no. The world is my office, and if they're Munich. My office is where I am, or my office is where Mario is. Oh, isn't that great? Yeah, where his laptop is my office. Sorry. Number one question was the amount of games. Yeah, I mean, it's I discussed that for ages. I know Salzburg is playing the Club World Cup, and do I have to say I love the competition? I don't. I still don't. I think it's useless. It doesn't help. It's you have no summer break. I don't know. It means for some players who played the World Cup or whatever, or Euros and Copa America, whatever, in last year, and now playing through this summer, who wins the tournament is, wow, the poorest winner of all time, because he has to play the whole summer through. Then the league starts again. We have now a lot of injuries in European football. Again, the muscle injuries, all these kind of things. At one point, we have to reduce the amount of games. That means in some leagues it would be better you have 18 instead of 20. That means in other competitions you don't add games. You don't add games, so you reduce them. That people not only there's time for other sports as well. You can in Germany you could watch handball. In Austria you could watch skiing or whatever. You have other wonderful sports, and then watch it in that time in these periods. You don't have to fill each gap with football. I think sometimes the lesser often you see something, the more you love it, and from a TV point of view, maybe the more you would pay for it, and then everything stays the same, and you can have people see that. But it's clear, lesser games or bigger squads, no other solution, because training is not there yet. I know it because I tried it with all we have. That will something I will think about a lot. If we can speed up recovery from 2 days to 2 hours, because that's pretty much the time they give us, or give the teams to recover and to go again.
Okay, the gentleman at the same table next to you. Go ahead.
Felix Hartelsteiner, Süddeutsche Zeitung in Germany, over here.
Oh.
I was curious to know, how much would you like to be, and how much will you be involved into potentially finding new clubs for sort of to add on to the Red Bull empire? Or is that something you will leave to Oliver Mintzlaff and his team? Is that something you would be interested in, perhaps?
Because, yeah, it will be still Oliver's job, of course, but the thing is, because he will just give it to us then, we put it on our desk. He probably will tell us 5 minutes before it's done, but we will see it. But in this moment in time, I try to keep my head above the water with the clubs we have. So I don't plan anything like that, not at all. I find it super exciting with all the different clubs we have already and all the different engagements. It's really exciting. If you always were on the other side of the table, pretty much now change to this side. It's there's still living a coach inside this belly where you think, hey, okay, money doesn't, who cares? No, you're on the other side. So there will be a learning curve for me, 100%, and things will get a bit more usual for me as well. But I personally have no plans, and nobody told me right now that we are already close to buy with something else.
Okay, thank you. Next question.
Maybe next one you can take. Yeah, he's not as bad as he looks.
First row, please.
But now you have pressure. It should be a good question, not like the 500 others you asked me.
The old jokes are still there, aren't they?
Yeah.
Good to see you anyway. Good to see you looking well.
Yeah, I would like to say the same.
Put a bit of timber on. Juergen, first of all, obviously with Liverpool, the group that you left behind doing so well at the moment, I just wonder, is there anything within you that misses the day-to-day involvement with the group that you've left behind? Obviously, they're going so well in the Premier League. Anything you miss about Liverpool as a city itself? And as you mentioned, Mo, earlier, also Trent and Virgil are out of contract in the summer. What do you hope happens with them in the future? Could they even be part of the Red Bull empire as well?
Look, only the Egypt journalists and the Liverpool journalists ask 5 questions in one. Thank you.
Decided to take him.
I'm so happy that they do so well. That was what I was hoping for. I'm in contact with some people, with Arnie, texting, players texting, stuff like this. There's not 0.01% that I think, oh my God, I should still be there. Not at all. I'm more than happy not to be there, because they are doing so well. That's really great. I wish them all the best. And I watch as many games as I can and could, because it's great football. Even if you don't support Liverpool right now, you better watch it, because it's really top football. Maybe the best balanced in a lot of things in the world out there right now. I'm really happy about that. What was the 3 guys out of contract?
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned Mo.
I'm so happy that I'm not in charge in that situation and have to answer these questions. So why should I do that now? So good luck. From my point of view, I would love all 3 of them to extend their contracts. But I don't know. They didn't tell me. You asked me, if you want to know that. But we could text him now. Maybe we get an answer.
In the future, one for Red Bull?
Sorry?
In the future, one of the 3, all 3 for Red Bull?
Oh, yeah. Virgil, I'm pretty sure he would love to have now 5 more years at Liverpool, and then between 41 and 44 for New York Red Bull, because he probably underestimates US football, but open arms, no problem. More, yes, would love to. I don't think we have a chance to pay him, to be honest. And then Trent, yeah. And he could finally learn defending. I can't believe that you all discuss this still. It's so poor. It's so poor, really. I mean, I'm really happy that I'm not part of that. Unfortunately, I watched a few of the press conference when he had to talk about it. I think, oh my God, they still don't understand it. And yes, he didn't play well against Manchester United. But if you would make such a fuss of him when he plays well, like we make a fuss of it when he doesn't play well, that would be really a cool planet. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. The lady in the white coat, please.
Ask again then. Let me say it like that. So.
Thank you, Juergen. I saw two gentlemen over there on the same table.
Hi, Juergen. I'm Léo Huisman from AFP, French news agency, representing my French colleague here. You were in Paris last weekend, and you saw the game of Paris FC. You visit the training camp. How can you describe it? What was your feeling there? What was your first impression? Maybe your first idea to improve the club here?
First impression is great people doing their great job. I think that the circumstances are not fantastic, and they may do really well. They have a second division team, obviously Ligue 2. They have a women's team playing Champions League, third in Liga in the French league. The stadium is a stadium. You cannot create an atmosphere. I mean, it's long ago that I watched a game from that far, and I was in the stadium and not in front of the television. So it's really, I think, wow. That there are changes in plan. The training ground reminded me on the training ground of my first club 20 years ago. So they did a couple of things, but there's a starting point and all. Let me say like that: they do really well, but. There's improvement needed, and that's what we will try to help with family Arnaud, especially Antoine, and then let's see. But it's a long way to go. The second division in France is like each second division in the world. It's like teams are pretty much level, same level, and then who wants it more, who has luck in this and that one will go up, but they're in a good position, and yeah. Let's try, but you cannot get influential like this. This relationship has to grow as well. So again, the thing what is the benefit of my new role, but on the other side, what will annoy people, that a football person is now in charge, and football people know in football you need time sometimes, and it's not often that you get it. But most of things need time. But we will definitely push in the right direction. Let's see what we can do.
Next question, maybe the second row. Two gentlemen are sitting next to each other.
Is this the longest press conference in Austrian history? I mean, it's 1:20. Are you kidding?
Hi.
Sorry.
Stan Honesch from the Bild newspaper in Germany.
Yippee.
Question. Marco Rose in the morning spoke about your visit this weekend, and he said he was really surprised about how slim you are. What's the secret?
I was surprised how slim he is, to be honest. Yeah.
What's the secret why you're so fit at the moment?
You have to ask Marco, because he told me he didn't do sports for 2.5 years because of his bad knee. And then he sits there with a six-pack, and I think, how's that possible? So this is hard work. For him, it's DNA. That's how unfair the world is. Yeah.
But what's your secret? You train a lot?
Hard work. that's training in my mind. Yeah. Sacrifice. I got nothing without these two things.
It's maybe the longest press conference ever. I brought you Red Bull just in case if you.
Yeah.
The gentleman with the laptop next to you.
Next. They all have a laptop.
Dominic Marnie, 20 Minuten from Switzerland. During your time off, we saw you skiing a lot. And with the Swiss guy.
1 week. Yeah.
Well,
you
put it on Instagram.
Yeah.
I have the Swiss guy, Marco Odermatt, probably the best ski racer, is with Red Bull as well. how do you see his career? What could you learn from him? And was there already contact between the two of you?
No. Martin Odermann.
Marco
Odermann. No,
the Swiss ski racer.
Yeah, I know, but we are not in contact. I'm 1 week in the company. I met all of them. Nobody. I was working. So the celebrities I meet later. So I got introduced to them later. No, I don't know. I love skiing. I'm from Black Forest, so when I was young, we started, but then I didn't do it for a long time. The last skiing race I saw, I have no clue when, because they are usually on the weekend when I used to work. And this winter I had my first skiing holiday for a while. That's it. So no connection yet. But if we meet, we will find good things to talk about. I'm 100% sure.
Okay, we arrived at the second to last question. Gentleman over there.
Florian Plettenberg, Sky Germany. Hello, Juergen.
Hi.
Well, can you explain this situation? What will happen if you will receive a call from the German national team, for example, from Rudi Völler? And is there a kind of a verbal agreement with Oliver Minzlaff in case that situation will happen?
There's no verbal agreement because we didn't speak about it, to be honest. It was not needed. I didn't ask. He didn't say no. It was nothing like that. Usually the things I do with full conviction. I try to. That's here now like that. I'm open. I want to learn. I want to do these kind of things. And I think we have actually the best national coach possible. I really do. I really do. I love the work of Julian. I think that was the biggest impact the coach had for I don't know how long, because I remember 3 weeks before he started, or more or less, we thought German football is not existing anymore, and he turned that in 2 or 3 games into making us a favorite for the next tournament. So, and now we ask me what I think about the job. I really hope he's doing it for long, and he's successful, enjoys it, learns, and because he has if he would do the job for 10 years, he has another 20 years career ahead of him in professional football. So where's the problem? I really hope he's doing it. I really like what he's doing, and that's it.
Okay, last question. Maybe the gentleman in the first row.
Hi, Juergen. Nick Ames from The Guardian in London. Thank you for all your time today. We're coming to the conclusion of a very important case in football, the Man City case, with the 115-plus charges. We'll see that resolved in the next few months.
It's going to have 3 months. Did you say the next 3 months?
Few months, anyway.
A few or 3?
It could be 3.
Okay. Yeah.
But
we're getting closer. Right.
It's getting close. It's going to have a seismic impact on all of football if it goes the way a lot of people expect. One impact on you could be that you end up with a few more league titles. Do you fancy that? Do you think that should happen?
Should, I don't say anything about that. But if it would, we had this discussion when we left. I'm not a lot on Mallorca, but right now, because I'm really flying everywhere around and stuff like this. But if it would happen, I told all the people who wanted, just book a flight. I buy the beer. So whatever we have to celebrate, we would do it. So good weather, stuff like this. We would have our own parade in my garden. So, yeah. Oh, God, what a headline. Yeah. Yeah. We will see. I didn't follow it at all. I'm really surprised that you tell me it's that close. Like 2 months. Wow. Yeah. Let's see.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you, Juergen. We are now at the end of our live press conference of our broadcast. Thanks for coming over. If there are further questions here in the room.
How could there be further questions? We spoke about, now we start already talking about Man City, and you see you have to stop it.
Okay, I have to stop it.
The next subject would be Man United, and then it's too late.
I wish you all the best out there. Thanks for joining us. All the best from Salzburg, Austria. Take care. See you next time. Servus and goodbye. for all the photographers. Yes, here. We will have a photo call over here. Thank you. Can we have the light again? Thank you.
Ich habe alle 3 Mikrofone da.
Wir brauchen keine mehr. Nee, das ist alles. Wir gehen dann Backstage. Ne? Passt so. Gehen wir Backstage. Kann auch da hinten.
Was sagst du?
Genau.
Ja, soll ich sie mit runternehmen? Ja. Sagen. Ganz kurz. Immer noch ganz kurz und dann nehme ich sie mit, okay? Okay, thank you very much. Let's come over here. Oliver, geh mal rüber.